Constellation work really works on a soul level. And on the soul level, we're all connected to the ancestors, we're connected to the collective field of women, collective men, collective Jewish inheritance, collective Austrians, collective Americans, right? So there's the individual package deal that a person inherits from the family system, that's individual soul kind of a makeup. The grid structure in my visual shows that, yeah. Then the next layer is the family system, all the different dynamics of how the person is tied to the family system. So it's personal, family, collective. How is a woman tied to the collective female pain and storyline? How is she tied to the storyline of collective mother? How is she tied to collective sister? How is she tied to collective businesswoman, right? So there's many layers on the collective level. How does this woman here in life, how is she tied to the collective kind of archetypes, you could say, yeah, of woman? And so that's the third level. The fourth level is, then we're going to go into the spiritual realm, where you're gonna start breaking down that whole soul package deal, that grid structure, to access the true nature, who and what we really are, the part that never dies, the part that comes in when the body is conceived. Really, the way I see it, a human being, the body is just a vessel, a pre-programmed vessel from conception on. Different parts of the mother and father lineage coming together in the physical body, and that's the vessel through which a person then experiences life. But what animates the body, what really looks out the eyes, what's making the body move, what's making the body think, all of that is happening on the spiritual level, from that part that just no longer is present when the body dies. And that part in the visual, which is the blackness, is really undifferentiated in a way. It's the same life. I call it infinite life. The same life looks out through all of us. So really, the same life operates all these bodies. We think we're all separate in the individual, but we are actually not. What's separate in the individual is the soul grid structure, yeah, and of course the body, and how the body is programmed, and how the mind and the emotions and instincts are programmed in the body. That's what's different. That's what makes everyone unique. But the true self, that which operates the body and looks out the body, and that which speaks, is actually infinite life. And that same life isn't separated out into individual pieces. It's always the same life moving through people. So on the fifth level, what I am trying to do with my work now is help collapse that whole grid structure, that soul package deal that's inherited, that makes up the way we think and feel and move about in life. And when we can collapse, because that's the structure that's tight, that's the structure that makes us do the same thing over and over and over. That's the thing that causes all the troubles. That's what gets triggered when something doesn't go our way, or where the fear comes in, and the anger and the jealousy, all of that. That's a package deal through which infinite life, our true nature, has to maneuver. And it's so tight and frozen for so many of us, and we're all trying to kind of get out and let us live more freely. So when we can break down or collapse this very densely tied soul package deal, when we can, through consciousness, through awareness, looking how it's made up, coming through the generation, how can we disentangle it and free it, what happens is our true nature can then be present. True nature can then surface and operate in life. And then, so when something happens on the outside, what before may have caused immediately fear or anger or frustration or something, because the structure is no longer there, we won't have that reaction. With constellation work, with any kind of a therapy work, what we're trying to usually do is just change that soul package deal or that grid structure to make it more positive, so we operate easier and more effortlessly in life. What I'm trying to do with my work when I work with a person is not making the structure over so the spirit or infinite life can maneuver better through that grid structure, through that soul package that's inherited with the body. I am trying to help release it and loosen it so it's not so tight. That whole internal way of operating and the internal thoughts and the internal emotions and the reaction and the way we think and feel and what we think is important and what we think is valuable, all of that is programmed. And of course culture comes on top, and then culture tells us what we should like and shouldn't like, right? But a person at the very core is programmed in a particular way, and my work is about loosening that very tight structure of the way we think, the way we feel, the way we behave, the way we're instinctually driven, so life can move freely. And we don't really know what life is because life cannot be touched. It's something that's, everything is made out of it. So when this happens, this disconnection, the way it's going to be experienced in a person is they will just feel more open, more alive, more vital. Things won't bother them anymore because the structure is no longer there, right? When this tight soul package or the grid structure is loosened up and released because we do certain kinds of work of releasing it, then life can just move freely without it. It's just no longer trapped in a way. So a person will experience life effortless and joyous and happy. They are joyous and happy and feeling free because of that structure being gone, not because they got something, not because they had a glass of red wine or they met the right person or they got the new car. None of those will create the true authentic experience of what it is, of how life, infinite life feels when it moves freely through the body. It's an experience we don't know yet. We have to all encounter it and learn about it and experience it, because our current way of thinking is just change your thoughts and change your feelings and change your emotions and you'll become better. Yeah, you become better but not free. Yeah.